Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of outlining for Plantsers. Last week I showed you how to do a very loose outline with a Cinderella retelling for a 9-block structure. This week we are going to go into the 27 chapter part of that outline. It's still going to be very loose. It's still going to be very movable. It's not going to set you in stone because it doesn't set me in stone. And hopefully this will help you out if you are like me and you kind of get stuck in the middle. This is how I outline now. Again, this is not set in stone. This is very flexible. This is very nubile. It moves around a lot. So when I say that, I write the story as best as I can, trying to build up to these points as a discovery writer. And then when I finish the manuscript, because I finish manuscripts now because of this, then I will go back and I will reread and actually form an outline that is true to the book or true to the manuscript. Doing that also lets me know where I might have some plot holes or where I need to flesh some scenes out and everything. And what I do when I reread, I go scene by scene by scene. I don't go as broad as this or as broad as this. It's very in depth so that I know that I'm writing a good book, or at least I hope I'm writing a good book. With that all being said, let's go ahead and move to this outline. This is going to be a little bit more detailed, so you have a few more steps to follow if you need it. Like I said, I went from this to this, and who's to say that next week or next month or something like that I might have an even more detailed outline to follow for my stories. So in Act 1, Section 1, Part 1, I guess, is the intro. So you have your intro to Cinderella and her life as it is now. You get to see some of the side characters here. You might not get to see your antagonist or anything like that here, but you at least know who your main character is. Your reader knows who your main character is, and your reader knows the situation that your main character is in. Second part of Act 1 right here is the inciting incident. So this is where something has to happen. The inciting incident that we have for over here is she meets the fairy. And the fairy basically takes a liking to her, or lets it be known that he or she likes her. We probably need to come up with a name for the fairy if we're going to continue this, right? Right. So the fallout. This next part is called the fallout. This is where your main character realizes that she or he needs to change. There's a fallout between the main character and the world as they know it. Maybe she didn't even really know that there was a fae world, so her world is kind of blown up. This can go hand in hand with the fairy actually asking her to run away. It's going to be him. Let's name him Bob. Fairy named Bob. Okay, Cinderella and Bob. Maybe we need to name him Barbarella. Okay, anyway, in the second section right here, each of these sections is broken up into 3 over here. Just, I don't know if I said that or not, but yeah. She actually takes Bob up on the offer. And she runs away with him. She starts living in the fairy realm. She is introduced to the fairy realm. Now, this isn't the absolute change that you're going to need over here. Think of these basically as different worlds. So this is just an introduction. This is her finding out what is possible. And I want to take a moment here to excuse what you may hear. It has started raining and we've been having a lot of little pop-up storms. So if you hear hard rain or thunder or whatever, I am sorry, but it is what it is. You can't control the weather, right? Right. She's introduced to the Fae realm. She is introduced to what can be if she stays here. Her action of taking Bob up on his offer introduces her to the Fae realm, but there's got to be some kind of consequence, right? There's got to be, it can't be happily ever after right here, otherwise there's no story. So what can stop her from staying here? So maybe the stepmother finally realizes that Cinderella's gone and there is a search. Maybe there's some huntsmen that attack the fairies or something like that. There is a consequence of having Cinder there. There's got to be some conflict that is beyond Cinderella's and Bob's control. Here we have the stepmother finds Cinderella and brings her back. That's part of the consequence still, but it's in the third part. The Fae, then Bob comes and kidnaps her again. Maybe then, as in retaliation from the huntsmen and Cinderella being kidnapped from them, the Fae attack and kill her family without her knowing it, because Bob's already taken her away. So now we are in a completely new world. She is back in the Fae realm and she has to learn this new world. She is stuck in it now. Part of this is an introduction to the new world, the main character's new reality. And what that can be is Cinderella actually is able to read books and relax, but she also finds herself still cleaning because, habits are hard to break. This next section is kind of what we call fun and games. It's where you learn your new place. The main character learns the new place in the story. They learn all about their new world. Here, maybe she starts teaching children human recipes. That can be fun and games. She gets to know Bob better. Maybe there's a little bit of romantic tension in there. Again, this is, Cinderella mixes with Beauty and the Beast, it looks like. Then there's a problem. There's something that isn't quite right. So right there, Cinderella finds out that the Fae killed her family. So it's not all happy, good lucky, happily ever after from right here, because yet again, you still have a whole other section over here to fill out to finish this story. You have to flesh all this out. You can't just stop it here unless you're doing this is enough for kind of a short story without the whole grim dark right here. She lives happily ever after. And yeah, I went grim dark. So hey, here we go. So she finds it out. She runs away. So when she runs away, she meets the prince. We're not going to name him Bob because there's already a Bob. And this right here is going to be the midpoint, because as you can see, there's as many spaces right here as there are right here. So this is your midpoint, where your main character has somewhat of a mini climax or a mini fight, a mini battle, a mini resolution. It can be good or bad depending on how you want to end this. And according to this over here, we're heading towards a happily ever after. So we kind of want to keep the arc a little bit positive. She befriends the prince. He becomes honor bound to protect her, because damsel in distress and princes work hand in hand, because this is a fairy tale. This is basically the beginning of a new world. This is what can happen in Act 3. The world that she lives in Act 3 is with the prince, pretty much. So the Fae, Bob finds her with the prince right here. So this is kind of a reversal consequence. There is a duel challenge. Let's say it's set for, we'll do 3 months, because preparations, man, come on. Again, there is another dedication. Maybe Cinderella talks to the prince, tries to talk him out of it. She's used to being trodden upon. She's used to being her rugs. Maybe she even offers to go back with the Fae. And I mean, she did have feelings for Bob, and technically Bob didn't really have anything to do with killing her family because he was taking her away back to the Fae realm when the other Fae killed her family, right? Right. Bob could also be kind of a lackey in the Fae world, or he could have actually ordered her family to die. Again, I'm a discovery writer, so that will be discovered as I write this story, if I ever write this story. I'm probably not going to write this story because I'm already getting annoyed with it. Maybe there is talk also of how Cinderella owes him for saving her from the life servitude. And that's yet again why they have to go through with this duel. Right over here is the calm before the storm. This is the 3-month training period. This is the preparation for the duel. And yet again, it's also an introduction to another way your main character's life can be. You know, she's back living in the human realm. She has befriended the prince. I mean, everything's pretty good. You know, she's not enslaved by her stepmother anymore. And here again, maybe she kind of sees what can go on. Now, this is also another area where we have like a plot twist, and right here she figures out that she's half Fae, maybe a princess of the Fae realm. Through reading the records at the mayor's house, where she is housed because of unbiased between the sides of the duel between the Fae and whatever. Yeah, she finds that she is half Fae. And again, this is where we discovery write to see if she is actually a princess of the Fae realm or if she's just basically half Fae. And in this world, maybe the Fae are considered royalty, or maybe half Fae are considered, you know, special or something like that. That can fit into it too. Cinderella probably has a meltdown. I mean, her family is dead. She's just found out something about her that is completely thrown her for a loop. I mean, she didn't know that the Fae existed until right here. You know, maybe she's like 16, 17. She's lived 17 years without knowing that the Fae are real. They've only been stories or something like that. And then she learns that she's half Fae. I mean, come on. And she's not even told by somebody that she knows and trusts. She reads it in a musty old record. It's tough. That's going to be tough, especially if she's a teenager. We can also make her, you know, maybe a little bit more towards middle age. Maybe she's like 25, 26, somewhere around in there. Not middle age, but you know what I mean. All right. So she has her mental breakdown, and with this mental breakdown, there is only one way to go whenever you have a mental breakdown, and that is back up. Right. She realizes that she has a power within. She realizes that she has powers, that she is not some kind of useless little thing. Now, since we have discovered that she is half Fae, we need to remember to kind of dot in little oddities right here that will let the reader know that there's something weird about Cinderella, other than, you know, a Fae coming and kind of falling in love with her and taking her away kind of thing. Foreshadowing needs to happen, so you can make note of that and all that good stuff. But yeah, still discovery writing, still flexible, nothing set in stone. She teaches herself through reading some of the mayor's books. And maybe right here, the reason why this household is unbiased, maybe the mayor himself is a Fae or the wife is a Fae. So that's the reason why the house is unbiased, and the reason why Cinderella has been sent to live with them, so that she cannot be told to run away back to the Fae realm or told to run away in the human realm kind of thing. She rallies herself, she rallies her power, she's training, maybe she even trains a little bit with the prince and with other Fae. She gets kind of battle ready herself in this 3-month period. You know, she's not going to be a rug anymore. Okay, so we are on to the last section here, and this is basically your climax and your resolution and the build up to the climax. that kind of goes more in depth than the section before. So in here we have the duel happens. We have it between Cinderella and Bob instead of the prince and Bob, because Cinderella has been building up to this. This first little scene right here can be Cinderella talking to the prince and convincing him that she can perform in the duel herself, for herself. And then for like the actual climax is the actual duel. Wow, I can't spell. We'll say that Bob is defeated. And then we have to show Cinderella's return to normalcy, or her new normal that's going to last her for longer than any of these two worlds right here, and the change from each world. This has to be equal to this right here, pretty much. Well, not really. You gotta show what her life is going to be like, just like you had to show what her life was in this first scene. You see her settled, and she is happily ever after with herself. She is her own woman. She doesn't have anybody telling her what to do, kind of thing. She is content and happy. Yeah, that's the end. Again, with this outline, it's new. It's mobile. It can change around. You can change around these scenes as you write them to, in case they fit better somewhere else. You can always strengthen this too. Like I said, this is an outline that we did in what, 20 minutes? So I mean, there's going to be a lot of weaknesses here. There's going to be a lot of holes here, and as a discovery writer, you're going to fill in those holes as you write. Or you can possibly also create holes as you write. Whenever you go back and reread the manuscript that you just finished trying to follow this outline, that's when you build your scene by scene outline, and you can see where you need work and where you need to polish it a little bit. So yeah, that is basically outlining for Plantsers. How I have basically moved from a pantser or a full-out discovery writer to something that is in between a discovery writer and an architect, or a pantser and a plotter, known as a plantser. I cannot talk today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more content, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you want to be alerted to whenever I upload new videos, be sure to hit the bell. I always appreciate it. If you have any comments, I love receiving comments, so go ahead and comment down below. And yeah, I post new content every Sunday and Thursday, anxiety and whatever willing. And I will continue to do so. And I do have some things coming up in the end of August. I hope to be starting some live streams of my own. We are doing a new computer build, and it will be set up towards the middle of August, so look forward to that. Anyway, have a great day, keep writing, and remember to smile about something today.